throw this around to the arena cam and your commentators for this match, our moderator and Elise.
Thanks for that, Jintan and Alois Randolph. So we can see that Purple Helmeted Warriors having the same issue that was just described, only having a total of 22 points spread across 6 ships in the support. So they're forced to go with the pair of Daredevils, 2 Heretics, and 2 Maguses for the link boats. I'm actually really liking the choice of Maguses as a link ship. Elise, tell us about some of the changes that have been made to command destroyers.
All right, so command destroyers now offer links, and links are kind of something that's one of the most important things that you can have in the Alliance tournament. They're a force multiplier, right? That's why ships like the Sleipnir, which you do see on the Chaos Theory side, by the way, the teams are switched here for this one. Purple Helmeted Warriors are in red, Chaos Theory in blue. But that's why the Sleipnir has always been so important in Alliance tournament matches and very coveted, because it gets the links sorted for you, and it does, it's a pretty tanky platform that can apply a lot of damage. But when you have, you can do some discount links right here with the Maguses and the command destroyers in general. They're very, very tanky ships. They're very fast. They're very nimble. So they've got a very good survivability rate. So you can just put the links on, run away and survive, and then dive back into your team and throw the links on when you need them. So I think that's going to play a pretty good role. And I do like the fact that Purple Helmeted Warriors have used these as like a sort of a cheap way to round out their support wing. And another good thing that Maguses do have, they've got a pretty hardy drone bay. So you can have rep bots in there, you can have damage drones in there, and Tech 2 damage drones in there. And the only thing that you can't fit is the the MJD field thing. So you can't be knocking your team out of the arena with you, although that would be kind of funny.
Yeah, it would really be unfortunate if you were to accidentally run yourself out of the arena. Elise has some experience with that. Trying to also knock the Maguses out of the arena are going to be the Sleipnirs and Fleet Hurricanes, and we can actually see that they've got artillery, it appears, fit to them. So the 720s do excellent damage at range, excellent alpha, and if I'm going to be Chaos, I'm going to be looking to knock out that support wing, kiting away from the blaster damage of those Vindicators.
Yeah, this is definitely not something that the Purple Helmeted Warriors want to come up with. These Daredevils are their only catch and only control here, and they're going to get blapped pretty quickly, or they're going to get jammed. So they have to find a way in order to live until the end of the match. If they go rushing forward, that's going to be a disaster. The match has started, and we do see these Daredevils and Heretics just running away for their lives right now. But actually, these Vindicators are trying to
get into half armor.
Yeah, my goodness. So Blackbird has had to make a decision here. He's jamming the Vindicator and the Geddon, and one of the Propolis in the Vindicator that's also getting jammed is trying to get screened off as well. But not before he got a web off, and there are newts from the Geddon going onto these Blackbirds. Perfect call by this Geddon pilot.
Okay, so we can see that Hannibal King in his Hurricane Fleet issue was a bit slow burning off. He needed to get those extra overheat cycles. Now, to counter-web him once he got tackled was one of the Daredevils who's gotten tackle on the Vindicator, but the Vindicator is already on top of this Fleet Cane at 0, and once we see the other Vindicator of Propolis get on top of him, as well as the Armageddon, he should be going down rather quickly, even under the Scimitar reps.
Yeah, the Vindicators, they don't really care about dealing with the Scimitar at all because they can pump out so much damage. And look at this Onero's pilot focusing all of his reps on everything that's getting shot, and we see rep drones on the Oneros ready. Looks like Chaos Theory are kind of responding here as they lose a Fleet Hurricane. Oh my goodness. The newts from the Purple Helmeted Warriors managed to land on the Scimitar here. That could be catastrophic.
Yeah, if you can't actually run your reps, it doesn't matter if you're still on grid. If you don't have any energy to run those remote repairs, you might as well not be on grid. And Blackbird already down into about half shields. Let's see who the next primary from Purple Helmeted Warriors will be.
Yeah, so this Geddon on the Purple Helmeted Warriors team is, very, very scary for the amount of control it can bring if you let it go just unimpeded, which is what the ChaosTheory team is doing. They're trying to screen off the Vindicators, trying to keep their Blackbirds alive. They've got so much they're trying to do. They just let this Geddon run free, and he is nuding everything in the world. He's nuding these Blackbird, which is a great way to get rid of it. Nuding the Scimitars, and you can see the target calling on the Purple Helmeted Warriors side is such that they're shooting the Blackbird that's not being nuded. So perfect call.
Yeah, once the Blackbird is capped out, it doesn't matter. If you can shoot the other one and keep it capped out, just ignore it. It looks like the hyena is taking some incoming damage, possibly from the light missiles of those two heretics, but one of the daredevils, it appears, has got webs onto Ralquaza, capped out, and he won't even be able to get any ASB charges off as he's just immediately melted by that blaster damage.
Yeah, Propolis was positioned himself right on top of that Scimitar. Somehow that Scimitar got caught a little bit. He was trying to rep his friends, was nuded out, so he couldn't really after run at the same time. And Propolis and the Vindicator just snuck up behind him with an overheated linked web, grabbed him, and just beat him down. And you can see just Vindicator damage, how it can melt, especially on these Minmatar hulls, which do not get a bonus to kinetic damage. That's actually their biggest hole. So this is something that they did not want to see. And Arteris, again, is still nuding out this Blackbird. You can see this Blackbird can't jam anything. He is nuded dry. So these Blackbirds, which are usually pretty good ships, as we were talking about beforehand, completely nuded out. Can't do a damn thing.
Yeah, and so far, Chaos hasn't been able to do much more than scratch the paint on the side of Purple Helmeted Warriors. They'd attempted to go for the Vindicator of Midmaster earlier, but he's now been fully repped up. They're going for Heretic and switching off between Vulcan and McFlightmaster, and just now Vulcan getting reps, but if all you can kill is a Heretic, it kind of doesn't matter at this point, at least.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, with these Artie Sleps and the Fleet Hurricanes, the play was to get these Daredevils out of control and just, kite back. They did not want to see this type of team. I can guarantee you they did not want to see Vindicators, and again, they did not want to see a Balgorn core whatsoever. Interestingly enough, Purple Helmeted Warriors banning out the Brutix Navy issue, so no one can take the Battleship core team or Battle Cruiser core teams. And ChaosTheory tried to get that control off by banning the Balgorn Ishtar, but the Geddon with Daredevils is essentially just a Balgorn, for even cheaper.
Speaking of Daredevils, Dark Imp in his Daredevil will be dropping, and it looks like the Hyena of Nee Jackson is taking a lot of drone damage. He should be going down fairly shortly. So far, these Fleet Hurricanes and Sleipnirs just kiting away, but not being able to drop any of these Daredevils, or more critically, the Oneros, is going to cost them. QC Albrutus in his Daredevil for Chaos No going down as well. Most of the support is completely gone for them. I don't see any way for them to come into this match, at least.
It's all done here, and you know what? One of the worst things that can happen is the Oneros is sitting at 100% shield for the Purple Helmeted Warriors team. They just ignored it the entire time because when you have an Artie team, you don't care about the Logi. You just want to blap through the small ships. But the Daredevils of Kothanga Strangler and Nepa Tura managed to survive long enough. They pulled back, hung out in the distance, and then swung around in the backfield and got some pivotal tackles on the Blackbird, a little early one on a Scimitar as well. And now it looks like they've got a Sleipnir tackled. And once they're there, I mean, there's nothing you can do. These Vindicators, they catch up, and they just melt you through your face.
Yeah, jams finally from the Blackbird catching onto that Oneros caused one of the Heretics to drop, but 4 points for 45. I'm trading a Heretic for the entirety of your core at only 4 ships remaining. Stench Slash is getting completely smashed and is into low shields, just now dropping, and without any Scimitar to support him, he was not long for this world.
Yeah, really composed team from this composed play from this Purple Helmeted Warriors side. They didn't really lose too much, and when you're coming up against Artie ships, it's easy to lose some ships here. These Daredevils right now just picking apart the remaining Blackbird, completely nuded out. I gotta say, I do think man of the match might have been Archeris Umagar in the Geddon. he was able to get some great newts off. He neuted the Scimitar, the Blackbirds. Like he knew exactly who to go for. You don't really care about neuting a Sleipnir or a Fleet Hurricane or even a Hyena Daredevil all that much. Focus on the Blackbirds, make it so they can't have their cap going. That is their Achilles heel right now, is their capacitor. So really, really good showing. And Shield Blackbirds, they can be annoying if they get jams off, but once they get caught, they die real quick.
In the past, the now burst links used to be armored or shield warfare links in the case of the Sleipnirs, and those did require capacitor to run, but nowadays they don't require any real capacitor to run. So neuting them off doesn't do that much. Shutting off the Scimitar and making him propless, just like the Vindicator, his name that got on top of him, was actually definitely the right call. Purple-helmeted warriors looks very composed, and they're in a great position, I believe, to go through this lower bracket. They might even get a bye. Only allowing 4 points lost against you is an excellent way. As I say that, they get commentators cursed and do lose the Megas of one Kaikera.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just goes to show you how dangerous these ships can be if you're not paying attention here. You just let it lapse for just a couple seconds, and you can find yourself whapped in the face. So really, still really good showing by this purple helmeted warrior side, and I do agree. I do think they're poised to get into a potential where they can have a first round bye, or rather a second round bye. So they'll only have to play 2 matches today instead of 3, assuming all goes well. But I think they actually scored very few points in their first round, so maybe not. We'll see. We don't know who is going to get buys until sort of towards the end of the day. Oh, okay. Getting told right now by our stats man right now that they cannot be getting their second round bye. Sadly for them. So RVB, who won in the other match over Army of New Eden, did so in such a convincing way that they will be getting the second round bye. So it'll be Digital Vendetta and RVB getting the buys. But still, Purple Helmeted Warriors, we'll see more from them today. And as they decimated and knocked out this Chaos Theory team. And Chaos Theory, we will not see them in Alliance Tournament 15. Sorry, boys. We had a nice run. 2 matches. Looking pretty good. Just really bad luck with taking this setup against the Vindicators.